Hi, this is Dr. Elizabeth Medlock with your life coaching tip of the week for the week of October 22nd, 2012. Today I'm going to be talking about the wacky world of internet dating and giving you some tips on how to navigate the world of internet dating, since so many people are going to the internet now as a way to find partners to date. I think people of a certain age range, people that are busy, people that don't really want to kind of go out to the bars and do all that kind of stuff are finding themselves increasingly on internet dating sites such as eHarmony and Match, both of which I've been on. So I'm going to talk a little about what my experience has been. I've talked to a lot of other people about their experiences, and even the people I went out with talked to them about their experiences, and kind of giving you like a little guide to these internet dating sites. First of all, I think what I found with internet dating sites is that people aren't always honest. You know, no surprise there. I think in terms of social media and social marketing, we kind of present the best versions of ourselves, and that is no different in being on the internet dating sites. So what you find a lot of times, what I found in my experience when I talked to both men and women about their experiences, was that the pictures that you see on these internet dating sites are typically not what people look like. The pictures I put up I thought pretty much looked like me, but I would say 80% of the guys I went out with didn't look anything like their pictures. A couple I absolutely didn't even recognize, and men told me that they had the same experience. And other women told me they had the same experience. That oftentimes the pictures were 5 years old, sometimes 10 years old. A lot of them were 20, 30 pounds lighter. Some of them had been photoshopped, different bodies even on people. So what you see in the pictures is not always what you get. So if you're going strictly by pictures, do not be disappointed when that person shows up and they don't look anything like their pictures. That's number one. Two, the thing I found too is that people will say just about anything on their profile. Whether it be eHarmony or Match, a lot of it is just very boilerplate. It's kind of telling you what you want to hear. You keep seeing the same things repeated over and over. And a lot of them, when you meet the people or talk to them, are really not even true. So what I always do is I always check it out. If people say things in their profiles in conversation, I'll ask them a question to see if it lines up with kind of what they said. A lot of times it doesn't. So I think you have to do a lot of questioning, and you have to just take everything with a grain of salt. I mean, if you look at the profiles, they're usually glowing and wonderful, and they say great things, and they say all the right things. They're looking for a relationship, and a lot of people really aren't looking for a relationship. So I think you have to treat it with a little skepticism and ask a lot of questions. Another thing is be safe. Don't give out your email to people outside of these sites. Don't give out your phone number until you've, I think, communicated with people for a while. If you are going to go on a date, I think the thing to be safe about is nobody should come to your house. I didn't let anybody come to my house. I didn't want anybody to know where I lived. I didn't give them my whole name when I was talking to them, not even my first name until maybe after the 5th or 6th email. I had a lot of people say they were hunted down on Facebook or LinkedIn through Match or eHarmony because they gave just enough information so they could be found. I didn't do that. I suggest you don't do that. And really take it slow. If you are going to go out, I know my friends and I do this sometimes. If we're going on a date, at least 2 other people know who we're going out with. We get their full name if we're going to see them in person, and also take a picture of their license plate or give a friend, text them their license plate. And that way, and also have a plan to where, you know, if the date's not going well, you text somebody something and they can call you on an emergency. Or you also have a plan where you can text somebody when the date is over so they know you've gotten home safely, so they never hear from you. They know who you were with, they know where you were, and they have a license plate and they can track that person down. You just have to be really safe nowadays. Another thing I found on internet dating is that a lot of people don't want to talk on the phone anymore. You know, phone conversation is becoming like archaic for some reason. I love to talk, obviously. And I found that I actually screened out a lot of guys who did not want to have phone conversations. They wanted to go straight to the date. They were not interested in talking. And the reason why, when I met a lot of these guys, or when I talked to them, they would say that, again, they had the experience of the pictures, they wanted to know if they were attracted to you, and they didn't want to waste time on the phone. And I'm the opposite, and a lot of women I talked to were the opposite. I don't think you can really get any real communication via text, but you'll find that a lot of times when you are doing internet dating, I think this is just how dating is done, a lot of communication gets done via text. For me, I could screen a lot of people out through the phone. I was asking a lot of questions to see if they could hold a conversation, to see the veracity of what they said, you know, on their profile, just to test out different things. And I screened a lot of people out on the phone and never went on a date with them. And if I wouldn't have ever had that conversation, I would have ended up on a lot of dates, or I would have been bored out of my mind. So for me, having a phone conversation, and if a person doesn't want to have a phone conversation with you, several of the men just didn't want to have, when I said I want to talk on the phone, I never heard from them again. They can have a phone conversation with you, then I'm sorry, they're out. But I do understand the men's perspective of going straight to the date because they think the pictures are fake. I was asked many times if my pictures were fakes. And they're looking for attraction. Another thing you're going to find as women is that the men expect to be pursued nowadays, which I don't do. I had many men say, "I'll send you more pictures. Here's my number. If you text me, I'll text you more pictures." I'm not sure what kind of pictures they were going to send me, nor did I care. But I didn't text anybody, initiate anything. But it's amazing how many, to me, how much the men want to be pursued nowadays. That's okay for some of you out there, but I'd say men, you know, grow some, and I think pursuing of women is still a good thing. But the world has changed, and it's a different negotiation now in terms of men contacting women, women contacting men. I think it's whatever you feel comfortable with. I didn't really feel comfortable with sending my number to people that just emailed me. I didn't want them to have my number, and so again, that was a safety issue and a boundary issue. So again, I think you have to go into it with an open mind. I think you have to have a thick skin. There's a lot of rejection involved on internet dating. Again, there was people I went out with, most of them were one date. I didn't want to see them again. There was something that just didn't click. I got stood up a couple times where I was actually ready for a date and got stood up. Can you believe it? And so you really have to deal with a lot of people who never called me back because of something I said or something I emailed, and it's just, you have to have a thick skin. You have to take everything with a grain of salt. It's a lot of teasing out that goes on. There's kind of a big pool of applicants in some cities, and people just kind of looking through. There's all different types of people out there. I think you need to keep your eyes and ears open. Remember what that one that always comes on Oprah says: when people tell you who they are, believe them. And so ask a lot of questions, and people end up telling you who they are. What I found is after a couple conversations on the phone and the date, they couldn't hold up. They were holding some fake persona they were putting out there. They would bleed out, what I call, or leak out the truth, you know, within a couple conversations in the date, or sometimes if I did go on a second date, they were who they were by then, which is very different than who they were trying to be initially. So ask a lot of questions, pay a lot of attention, whether you're a man or a woman going out, because people do tell you and show you who they are, and we really need to be paying attention to that. Have a thick skin, take it with a grain of salt, have fun with it if you can. I know it's not for me anymore, and I said before I wouldn't do it again. I will definitely never do it again. Please hold me to that, audience. There's nobody out there that's on Match that is going to match with me, and that's a good thing, by the way. But I know people that have been successful, and I think it can work with an open mind and with an open heart, and with a high tolerance for a lot of disappointment. I think you have to really have a good sense of yourself and know who you are and know what you're worth to really make it out there in the internet dating world, and don't settle. Because there's probably a lot of settling going on, and don't settle, and be honest about who you are. I was always honest. I changed my profile midway through to say when I really didn't want to date anyone over 50, I meant it. So would the men over 50 please stop emailing me, which I knew was ageist. I admitted I was an ageist, but my profile even got snarkier and snarkier as I went on. But I say be authentic, because then you don't have to fake it, and let people take you for who you are. That was my game plan. Didn't work so well, but I think it works for some people. But be careful, be safe, have a thick skin, have fun with it. Don't take it too darn seriously. Internet dating can be okay. At least you get some free meals, and some of the dates were fun. So that's my life coaching tip of the week and my crazy wisdom after internet dating. I hope you have a great week, and I'll see you next week for another tip.